guys, we have a new moon in Capricorn going on today. There's a lot energetically tied into all that is happening alongside of this new moon, but basic themes at its core, energy is really asking us to start building, constructing, forming something that is actually going to lead to our freedom and liberation in some type of a way. Also, definitely a theme going on this cycle in terms of reevaluating what we value, what we love, how we relate to ourselves, and how we relate to other people in relationships. And Uranus is quite in play this new moon as well. So shocks, surprises, expect the unexpected, and more great awakening energy coming at us this cycle. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Sunday, January 2nd, 2021, and my name is Aubrey, and this is my report for the new moon in Capricorn that, like I said, is coming at us today, Sunday, January 2nd, 2022, you guys. So let's talk about all the energy that we have going on alongside of this. Like I said, constructing your own freedom, redefining value. We're future focused this cycle. There's a lot of future oriented energy as a result of some of the things that we have going on as well. As we reconsider our roles in our own lives, and universe is really pushing for us to become our own authority this cycle with all of this Capricorn energy. We have a lot of planets going on in Capricorn, a big emphasis energetically on Capricorn this cycle, obviously because it's the new moon in Capricorn, but we also have Pluto in Capricorn. We have Venus retrograding in Capricorn, the sun and moon in Capricorn, of course, as well. And it definitely puts a big prominence on the planet Saturn, as Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So we will talk about all of these things, but primarily, you guys, self-discipline, focus, planning, hard work are where our focus should be this cycle, because that really is what is being supported energetically with all of this emphasis and all of this energy going on right now in the sign of Capricorn ruled by Saturn. This is very much about making a plan, making a strategy, setting a goal, putting in the hard work, paying attention to details, like really focused, diligent effort to achieve some type of successful something that we are building, forming, growing. And at this point in time with Saturn in Aquarius, this is pertaining to something that liberates us in alignment with our authentic truth. So let's talk, okay, the new moon, this new moon, really good time, like I said, to make goals, plans, or to commit to something that we have been wanting to do or that we've been feeling like we really need to do for ourselves, because it is ruled by Saturn. Like I said, Saturn rules duty, obligation, commitment, focus, hard work, putting your nose to the grindstone, really getting into something and putting, like, you know, being diligent about it and being focused about it. Saturn also builds things and forms things, lays foundations, and the things that Saturn builds are usually sturdy and long-lasting and enduring and can actually carry us into the future. Saturn rules time, and Saturn really likes us to put a lot of, like I said, diligent, hard work and effort into the things that we're creating, because when Saturn is involved, Saturn wants these things to have a strong and sturdy foundation so that they can withstand the test of time, carry us through time in true Saturn nature. So anything along these lines is going to be very supported this cycle. Saturn also always wants to refine us and to help us better ourselves, and always like working on chiseling our most, perfect form or our highest level of potential. Saturn really wants us to rise to the challenge of things and better ourselves, and any goals or plans that we set now and work hard towards with that dedication and that effort, that consistent effort, are likely to pay off as we go through this cycle. Saturn really likes it when we put a lot of hard work and effort into things, when we're a little bit harder on ourselves, when we really rise to the challenge, rise to the occasion, and rewards us for that effort. So there's a lot of potential to really make some material, physical, tangible things happen for ourselves this cycle. This is also a cardinal cycle. Capricorn is one of the 4 cardinal signs, and cardinal cycles are about taking action and making something happen. So this is a very, very good cycle. This is a very supported cycle for really putting our nose to the grindstone, putting some effort into something, getting things done, moving forward towards a direction, consistently working on it, being focused about it, being a little bit more Capricorn season 2, this Saturn likes us to be a little bit more withdrawn, a little bit more isolated so that we can put in that detail-oriented, hard, focused work on something that we want to create. Again, though, that is for the purpose of carrying us forward into the future. And, with all of this energy in Capricorn right now and us being in the Capricorn cycle, if we follow the rules and the guidelines of Saturn, which, Saturn rules and guidelines, we are likely to experience some type of success because Saturn also rules success and also rules career. So also anything that you are working on right now that could, turn into some type of career or job, or you could gain some type of like public recognition or, money, financial return on, also supported in this energy. So we are bringing our goals into fruition this cycle, and it's a new moon, so it's a great time to do it anyways, but definitely the Capricorn cycle this year, specifically with all of these changes and everything that are happening right now too, very, very good time. And let's not forget Saturn's in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius rules things being liberated to align with their authenticity and their truth. So the things that we are working on and building right now should actually, in some capacity or another, be setting us up to be actually freed and liberated from something that has been restricting or holding back our ability to align with and begin to cultivate and develop that authentic truth and potential that exists there within as well. So, that's what we got. We got a cycle where we are putting our work into our goals that we want to manifest and material create in the world. And it needs to be in alignment with our authentic truth that we have been coming to discover more and more over the course of this past Sagittarius cycle and actually this entire lunar year. This past lunar year. So we're at the point where we are, able to start taking action to build in alignment with the shifts that have been happening, building structures that free us in some type of a way. And because, Saturn is the ruler of this cycle, the ruler of Capricorn, and is also in a square with Uranus right now. Let's not forget that. Saturn has moved a degree. Saturn is at 13 degrees of Aquarius right now. Uranus has also retrograded back a degree to 11 degrees of Taurus. So there is a 2-degree orb separation between the square right now, but it is still very much in effect. And so, this is telling us that, again, all cycle long, the energy breaking restrictions of all kinds, specifically though that are going to be more oriented around mental or material restrictions. We are breaking free from that, and we've experienced this energy. This energy has gone on all year, but again, this cycle, just because of the proximity of the square, we are definitely still in break the chains energy that's just infused into the course of this lunar cycle as well. We could see some big financial and economic shakeups coming at us this cycle, shakeups also having to do with leaders or authority figures, rules, restrictions, things like that as well. We're dealing with Capricorn energy that has to do with authority figures, governments, establishments, bosses, father figures, just leaders and authority figures in general. And then we're also dealing with the sign of Taurus where Uranus is right now, and that is finances and economies and resources, supply chains, like all the things that come from the earth, all the things that the earth grows for us, and also the things that we build in our lives to provide ourselves with a sense of safety and security and comfort, and the material possessions and the material pleasures and all of those things. We could, this is another cycle where we could see some definite upheavals in those areas because of the square between Saturn and Uranus that is present for our new moon. So all of those type of things could be highlighted as well. Now let's talk about the new moon itself, the specifics of the new moon itself for a moment. The new moon is occurring today. Like I said, this is happening at 1:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's happening at 12 degrees and 20 minutes of Capricorn. That is where the sun and the moon will align, and that is what gives us our new moon, when the sun and the moon come into an exact alignment in the sky. And it's happening on January 2nd, 2022. Now, again, the date today, 1222. If you guys have been following my work, you know that I have been pointing out a particular emphasis on the number 222 that has just been all over the energetics, all over the dates, all over the degree placements for a while now, but it seems to be gaining speed and momentum and synchronistic prominence as we, head into this year 2022, which, is a 222 year in and of itself. But, I found that to be quite synchronistic that we have 1222 for our new moon in Capricorn. Again, emphasizing this number. And, this is an angel number. If, any of you are into numerology or follow anything like that, has definitely to do with actually like true love and companionship and partnership and ultimate fulfillment and also balance. And these are definitely themes that we are going to be working with over the course of this year. And also 222, that breaks down into a 6, which is the number of love. And so I feel like ultimately this 2022 year, once we get through into our actual astrological lunar year, I feel like there's going to be a big emphasis actually on healing and love and fulfillment and true like soul alignment with partnerships. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people like coming into contact with like their soul tribe or soulmates or something like that going on this year. There's been so many breakups and so many relationships shakeups as a result of all of the inner changes that have been going on within all of us and the awakenings and the enhanced levels of awareness and, just the growth that's gone on. It has shaken up and shaken out a lot of relationships that were not in alignment with truth and authenticity and each person's ability to come into their full potential and experience true fulfillment. And I feel like there's like a grand rectification going on this next year, 2022, that has a lot to do with relationships and soul level connections and fulfillment. And I feel like that just because of this 222 angel number that has just been everywhere, all over the place. And again, today is also prominent. So I wanted to mention that as well. Let's see, where was I? Okay, so yeah, the 222, it's just crazy. But the new moon itself, okay, and also the new moon, like I said, it's happening at 12 degrees and 20 minutes of Capricorn, but those of you who follow my channel, you know that I read the Sabian Symbols, and whenever we are reading Sabian Symbols in terms of astrology, we always round up a degree because energy really moves in waves, and so it's like by the time that a degree is being discharged, we're already actually picking up on the vibrations and the frequencies of the incoming wave, so it just makes more sense to read the energy that we're actually picking up on and experiencing rather than the energy that's trailing off. So when we read the Sabian Symbols, we look at the next degree up. So I'm reading 13 degrees in terms of the Sabian symbol that is in effect for the degree of the new moon. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Sabian symbols, what they are is a group of energetics that describe each and every one, or a group of symbols, that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever there's a planet at a specific degree making an aspect, discharging a degree like we have with our new moon today, we can look to this symbol, read this symbol, and it just gives us an extra layer of clarity and context in terms of what the actual purpose of this aspect is in this context of this grand unfolding astrological story, astrological drama that is always carrying us through time and space, and right now is taking us on a one-course path to the age of Aquarius. So that's my disclaimer on the Sabian symbols, and I want to read the Sabian symbol, of course, of the degree of the new moon today because that is also important. It's a very interesting degree that we have going on. 13 degrees of Capricorn, the Sabian symbol of our new moon today. A fire worshiper meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. So We've had a lot of deep energy going on the past couple days, you guys, and this cycle is not going to prove to be any different. This is also going to be a very deep and complex internal cycle where we are really spending a lot of time meditating as we are more withdrawn in this Capricorn energy on those ultimate realities of existence, and more importantly though, our personal ultimate realities and our personal truth and our personal soul purpose. Definitely I feel like we're going to be spending some time in reflection of that this cycle. Generally, just because it is that Capricorn cycle, it is more of a withdrawn cycle, but we also have aspects indicating it and the Sabian symbol of the new moon itself at this degree, specifically talking about meditating on the ultimate realities of existence. So pretty powerful Sabian symbol in effect for the new moon itself. So now let's talk about the aspects that we have alongside of this new moon. First of all, the new moon is in a trine to Uranus. Now, this is not an exact trine. The new moon is at 13 degrees of Cancer. Uranus is currently at 11 degrees of Taurus, but it is only a 2-degree orb off trine. So very powerful, very much in effect. Definitely in another cycle of expect the unexpected and awakening with this new moon in the trine to Uranus. We could definitely see some strange or bizarre things occurring this cycle, but it's also another awakening cycle. This is awakening energy. Uranus and trine to the sun and the moon, that is like both conscious and unconscious awakening happening. Uranus is the planet the Great Awakening planet, the planet that rules awakening and electricity and flashes of insight and downloads and just like a spontaneous knowing. And with the trine, which facilitates things and helps them happen, assists them to happen in a positive way, with both the sun and the moon ruling our conscious and our unconscious. This is definitely a conscious and an unconscious awakening that we have going on, and just sort of like falling into place. With trines, a lot of times things fall into place. It's not something that we have to try at. It's like things just like hitting us over and over again, all cycle, that is just, creating this alignment between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, the sun and the moon, with this awakening, electrified energy that is representative of the age of Aquarius frequency and vibration. So we are definitely getting a galactic upgrade in terms of our resonance, our vibration, our frequency aligning with the Aquarian incoming energies because of the trine to Uranus this cycle. So I do see that as a good thing. And also, not only do we have the sun and the moon for the new moon in the trine to Uranus, they're also in a loose square to Chiron as well. Chiron rules the wounded healer teacher archetype, the hero's journey, our personal healing journey, how we transmute and alchemize our states of victimhood into overcoming our circumstances and stepping into our self-mastery, and then becoming like a guide and a teacher for others who are going through that process, and really clearing and healing and transcending our trauma, changing our lives. Basically, that is the hero's journey that Chiron takes us on. And with the sun and the moon simultaneously in the square to Chiron, this is also creating energy that is trying to push us into a form of transcendence and ability to overcome and to really step into our power and our self-mastery. We are awakening with Uranus to the truth of our authenticity and purpose on a conscious and an unconscious level. And with Chiron in the square as well, we are transcending our own weaknesses and limitations as we heal and step into our self-mastery and personal power to become the generators of our own experiences, which is another part of this Aquarius age story, where we really are at a point where we can become the generators and the creators of our own success and of our own experience, in our own abundance and our own fulfillment in this life, in alignment with our authentic truth and the unique abilities and talents and gifts that we were all born with. It's time to really cultivate those and harvest them and use that as our resource to propel us forward in life, to create and make our dreams come true, instead of needing to be plugged into an artificial matrix or an artificial external power source, because we don't realize the potential and the strength that we have within it to actually do this for ourselves. This is the reawakening of the human spirit and the recalibration of the human potential that is coming online and into alignment so that we can go through this process and transform the world one by one as we do this individually, and it extrapolates out to a collective. And then, that is how humanity actually creates the age of Aquarius. And we are in the initial phases of doing that now. So yes, we're awakening to the truth of our authenticity and our purpose with the moon, or with the sun and the moon in the trine to Uranus, transcending our own weaknesses and limitations as we heal, step into our personal power, and become the creators of our own reality in conjunction, of course, with God and universe, co-creating with God and universe, consciously moving through forward into this next paradigm. It's also interesting because think about the degree, the Sabian symbol. A fire worshiper meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. This is fire energy. Again, this is that creative life force energy, the desire, the light, that fuel that gives us, that burning desire that we have to step forth and make these goals and make these plans and manifest our dreams into reality. With this Capricorn energy, we are actually, with the position of the sun and the moon at this degree and the trine to Uranus and the square to Chiron, we are actually being pushed into our self-mastery, into a state of conscious awakening and awareness, so that we can begin to, and with Venus retrograde as well, realign with what our authentic desires really are and begin to build and create that now with this cycle. So very much fitting together and seemingly with a very strong and solid purpose in true Capricorn Saturn fashion. Now we need to talk about Venus. I just mentioned Venus for a moment, but she's also a significant energy this cycle as she is retrograde in Capricorn for this Capricorn new moon cycle. This tells us that all this cycle will be very much about an inner revaluation and reevaluation of what we value, what we desire, and what and how we want our relationships to be going forward, what we will and what we will not accept from people any longer, redefining our relationship to love, possessions, values, and desires generally as we go through this process. And Venus, if you guys have been following my work, you know that Venus is in a saga with Pluto right now, which is all about realizing the truth of the value that we hold inside of us so that we stop surrendering our power to situations that aren't good for us, that aren't in alignment with us, that aren't supportive for us, because we feel like we need some type of external support or validation or love because we don't acknowledge and, align with that within ourselves. So a big also reevaluation in terms of our self-love, our self-worth, our self-value, and the power that actually translates into to help us break these chains from these things that we have been bound to that have been keeping us out of our creative, authentic alignment with ourself and the potential and the power that represents. So this is another thing that we have unfolding this cycle as well. And this is also putting a highlight on abuse, toxic or addictive desires and relationships, and like I said, where we surrender our power out of a feeling of fear or lack. This is being rectified right now. We are in this process through March of 2022, at which point we will really be coming to a whole new understanding and a whole new self-love and self-appreciation and inner integration of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, an inner wholeness that we haven't experienced, in a very long time, if ever, that is really going to have us finally coming to that place of ultimate power within and truly breaking free from, everything that we have been trying to cut ourselves loose from this entire year. And that will culminate with the new moon in Pisces, which will be our last lunar cycle of the year, and purely blueprint perfection coming down from God and the universe. But we do have Venus today. Here's another one. We have Venus at 22 degrees and 23 minutes of Capricorn for this new moon today. Now, this is very, very ironic because for that date that I was just talking about, when Venus and Mars will be in the conjunction with Pluto in March, that is happening on March 2nd, 2022, which is 3222. And Venus today for this Capricorn cycle, that is 1222, is at 2223, the inversion of what the date will be when Venus comes back into that, like when Venus, and when we go through that very significant point in time where we reintegrate the divine feminine masculine within us, is going to be a really powerful period. But it's being reflected today by Venus's exact degree placement. And again, with her being at 22 degrees 23 minutes of Capricorn, I round that to 23 to read the Sabian symbol. And the Sabian symbol, where Venus is today, 23 Capricorn, a soldier receiving 2 awards for bravery in combat. So we know that ultimately we will be rewarded this cycle for winning the battles of the heart. And actually, it may not be until that Pisces cycle that is going to be coming up in March. But I feel like Venus's placement today and the Sabian symbol that she's discharging are sort of foreshadowing and referencing and reflecting what is to come for Venus, because she is retrograde right now and she really is a soldier right now. Like Venus, she was just in a conjunction with Pluto for like 2 weeks. And she was in a proximity, like a 1 degree orb with Pluto for like 24 days. Like that deserves 2 awards for bravery in combat right there. But she's not done. She's retrograding back, meeting Mars, and then they're going to stand together to take down the Dark Lord once and for all. So her being at this degree today just is significant to me in like terms of foreshadowing what's to come. But we will be successful in these matters of the heart. That is what that is telling me. Now, lastly, today, the last thing I want to talk about, we have Mercury moving out of Capricorn, changing signs, moving into Aquarius for this new moon today. This is letting us know that a mental awakening, again with the awakening energy, is underway all cycle long. You know, not only do we have Uranus in the trine to the new moon, but with Mercury moving to Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, also ruled by Saturn, but ruled by Uranus, mental awakening for sure. Mercury is our mind and our thoughts and our conscious cognition, like how our mind is working. This also tells me there is likely to be an emphasis on like forward thinking or a mental focus on the future or moving forward this cycle. Aquarius is the sign that rules the future and everything that's associated with the future. While it's interesting, Saturn, ruler of this cycle, is associated with time and things from the past. So while we are, dealing with breaking free from the things from the past that have restrained us, the mental faculty of things, how our mind is working this cycle, is very much likely to be geared toward future-oriented thinking and these plans and these goals and these preparations, these things that we're doing right now to build for the future, with this being the Capricorn cycle and all of that being supported. We really are thinking like more like just forward thinking, future thinking. And also this is about freedom and liberation in alignment with authenticity as well. So it's like the ideas that we are having as we are going through this building process are also in alignment with the Aquarian principles to which we are supposed to be aligning with right now and moving towards. So I find this to be a supportive energetic as well. Also, creative genius is represented by Mercury in Aquarius, and genius creative solutions to problems may just like hit us out of nowhere this cycle with Mercury in Aquarius. This is also very electrified thoughts and ideas, are very likely to be coming to us this cycle as well. This is a lot of highly creative potential. A lot of genius ideas might be coming. So, this is the type of energy where if you get a really good idea about something, if you get a really random but enthusiastic idea about something that you feel like could really do something for you, make the goals, make the plans, make a strategy, do the Saturn thing in regards to that, because we really have a strong ability to manifest physically what we put our energy and intention into this cycle, especially if it is aligned with those Aquarian principles and vibrations, truth, authenticity, authentic creative self-expression, or just creating solutions to things generally. Very supported with this. So overall, to wrap up this report, this could be kind of a strange cycle, you guys, where we are hard at work in planning things, but simultaneously also really aligning and resonating to freedom and breaking free from things as well. Building structures that free us in some capacity is a really good use of this energy, and something that people may just be organically doing, or we may notice somehow on, a collective level. We are definitely reevaluating what we want in our lives and making changes to free ourselves from situations that are not good for us, that are not in alignment with that authentic truth and that personal creative self-expression. We are shifting mentally and awakening consciously and spiritually, stepping back into our power through a newfound self-mastery with this Chiron energy that we have going on as well. And brilliant and creative ideas are likely to be available in abundance this cycle as well, you guys. The psyche of humanity is shifting. The sun and the moon in the trine to Uranus. While we have the square going on to Chiron and Mercury now in Aquarius, the psyche is shifting this cycle. And now is the time to really, like I've said, put the pedal to the metal, or put our nose to the grindstone, and really start building what we want our freedom to look like going forward, especially, in regards to a career or some way to earn financial gain or something like that, with the Capricorn energy as well, something to create some type of stable structure, creating some type of career for ourselves that can bring some type of long-term, support, but doing it in a very Aquarian way would be the type of thing that is very supported this cycle. So that is basically what I have for the energy, you guys. I have a couple minutes left before my camera shuts off, surprisingly. So let me draw us a synchronicity card for this cycle. This is going to be a message that God wants us to know and focus on this cycle, and sort of just keep in the back of our mind. So, and I already got the card, it flipped over in the deck, but this is just something that we need to keep in our mind all cycle, that will help us or benefit us in some type of a way. And it is very ironic. The card says change your thoughts. And I literally just said the psyche of humanity is shifting. And this is all what this is about. And God, universe, spirit is emphasizing that as well. Change your thoughts and it shall it says, change your thoughts and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. Isaiah 55:11. Whatever seed you plant will come back to you in its fruit. If you plant a bitter seed, you will get a bitter fruit. Sweetness will beget sweetness. Likewise, flavor your thoughts and your speech with sweetness, that you may dwell in a sweet life. Holding to your present thoughts will bring you unhappiness. So this again to me is talking about the conscious and the unconscious shift, realignment that's going on. And this is what we need to keep in mind. And this is really, a very powerful force that can help us this cycle. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. And come back with me on Monday. We have a whole nother week of astrology to talk about. I wish everybody a beautiful weekend and a beautiful new moon, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.